All right, we're talking F1 at Australia. This has been an incredibly chaotic race weekend for the drivers. In case you haven't been paying attention, we've had tons of wrecks. We had a red flag in qualifying. That's bringing a lot of people down the grid, probably starting worse than where they should have started. We had multiple crashes throughout the practice session. This track ended up being a lot tougher for a lot of these teams than they expected. They were dealing with porpoising issues. They were dealing with just cars not wanting to stay on the track. I know I just mentioned Alonso, but his wreck is a great example of that. Technically didn't do anything wrong. He lost hydraulics, but then the car just didn't stay on the track, went through the sand trap. We also had whatever the heck you want to call Stroll's incident, and multiple guys wrecking. You had Vettel wrecking, Stroll wrecking, Nicholas Latifi getting involved when Stroll made that incident. Like, tons of issues here affecting people across the grid. We have Haas F1 talking about, hey, we did not set up well for this race at all. We're still having Mercedes having the porpoising issues as well. They think they fixed it, but clearly the speed is just not showing up for them to, at least in my opinion, contend for this win. I think Hamilton can at least contend for a top 5 finish. When we get to the main contenders for the race win, Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, in the beginning, we had Ferrari losing time to Red Bull when we had the 4 DRS zones. They've removed one of the zones that has kind of helped Ferrari catch up in terms of speed. It's nail and nail. This race is going to be determined on where Verstappen and Leclerc are every time they go through a DRS zone. I would not be shocked if we see laps led between these two guys spread out. I would not be shocked to see Verstappen or Leclerc run the fastest time. Personally, I'm believing that Red Bull is set up a bit more for this race. And certainly for these corners, the issue comes from Leclerc is showing better speed in the corners. That's just what we're at, man. Leclerc is just slightly faster than Verstappen across the board. The reason I'm leaning more towards Verstappen is I think Verstappen's going to be behind Leclerc when they go through a majority of these DRS zones. That'll be interesting to look at once this race is over, but I think the percentage of who takes advantage of the DRS zone more in this race is going to be Verstappen, because I think he's going to be behind Leclerc whenever we enter a majority of those DRS zones in this race. And with that in mind, Verstappen and Red Bull are going to aim for this race I'm talking too fast here. I think Red Bull and Verstappen is going to take advantage of being behind Leclerc during all those DRS zones. If Leclerc passes him in the corners, if he can get runs in the corners, that's fine. Verstappen can keep flying by him in the DRS zones. That's my very quick opinion on the race leaders. I like Verstappen. When we're going down low, we're going to have to go for value. I like Albon, Vettel, Latifi, Stroll. All these guys are risky down here. I'm not saying Albon is any safer than them, but he's the guy I want to focus primarily on. In terms of constructors, I like Red Bull more than Ferrari just because I think Verstappen's going to be up there. I think, what's his name? I just went blank. My guy, Perez, is going to contend for a top 3 finish. I think there's a good chance we have Red Bull taking the podium bonus as well, so I want to keep Red Bull as a constructor. I want to keep Verstappen as the captain in this. I like Fernando Alonso. If you want to look at Lando Norris, I'm concerned that he's going to run into issues, and just due to the way that I want to build lines and try and get another guy in above $8,000, I just didn't end up getting to a lot of Norris. It concerns me that he's starting 4th. Like I said, I think Hamilton is going to compete for a podium finish. Let me bring these guys up really quick. Sorry, where are we at here? Lando's got to hold off Russell. I think he's going to be racing around Daniel Ricciardo. Obviously, Sainz is going to be up there racing for a top 5 as well. I just think that bumps Lando down, man. I don't hate it. My initial line went with Lando Norris, but I wanted to get up to people who I believe offer just a little bit more in terms of upside. Like when we're talking about our last driver in, and we're considering who to go in, whether we're considering, if we're playing Verstappen, we can't play his teammate, but then you got to consider Hamilton, Russell, Bottas. Depending on where you want to go there, I just don't like the Lando play. I don't like the line of construction that we get with the Lando play. That might change, but that's where I'm at right now. So at least favorite captain, Max Verstappen. Favorite constructor, Red Bull. Favorite value play, it's going to be Alexander Albon, $3,400. That's mainly how I'm going to be starting a majority of my lineups. And thank you for watching. If you want access to the practice data. If you want access to the sheets, you can go to Patreon / or backs, whatever the slash is. BrandonCruzDFS in link in the description below. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you're going to watch it, we'll see you at midnight.